I was doing the work on a friend of mine that I was with, and it was kind of around she's environmentally wasteful, was something like that. And one of what I had without the thought was I would just enjoy myself with her. Like I'd enjoy the drive, I'd enjoy the whatever stuff she does that's not good for the environment. And so one thing that I noticed, and I'm not sure if this is a belief or if this is more confusion. One thing I noticed is, well, I can't, that's a spiritual bypass, or that's a cop out to allow yourself to enjoy something that's wrong. And so I don't know if that's more like I just got to go back to what is bad for the environment, questioning that, or just my role. If she was doing something that was clearly wrong, like beating somebody up, it would be like easy for me to not participate. But if she's driving a short distance when we could walk, should I be like, well, we should not, I don't approve of driving. So, but it feels like that's what I'm doing. I'm condoning bad behavior if I allow myself to just enjoy the world the way it is. Like, there's a lot of environmentally bad things that I really enjoy. And I modify my life a certain amount in keeping with my values. And then there's lots I can't control. But that line between where's my responsibility and where's me just like, too bad, can't do anything about it, I'll get to enjoy this great thing.
Yeah. 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 It's always a question. It's always a question. It's a great question. So, like we're looking, what are we doing when we're doing the work? Like, what would you say when you're doing the work? What is the purpose of that? Questioning this thought, she's environmentally wasteful, and turning it around. What is the purpose of that?
In that situation, it was feeling a little bit of a lack of connection with my friend and some judgment of my friend. So I guess my purpose was to see if I could clear some of that stuff up. So I guess maybe I had a motive to like have an easier friendship. Like it was like that to me, I'm doing the work. What's going on? Why am I not feeling at ease with this friend? What's the distance? So in that, I suppose that's why I was doing the work right then, was to find that blockage.
Yeah. So in that situation, it was about the connection with your friend, right? That's what brought you to doing the work. And when you started doing the work and explored who you'd be without the thought, which is environmentally wasteful, I heard you say that you'd be enjoying yourself, and sounds like it would be moving back towards connection with your friend, right? So that's the only purpose of doing the work in that situation, and that purpose was served, and that's it, right? But then the mind goes, yeah, but there's this environmental problem, and there's this right and wrong behavior, and there's a whole issue around that. So they're like two different dimensions. In the dimension of connection with your friend, the more you start going down the road of her being environmentally wasteful and seeing it as a judgmental thing, like she's bad, then it causes disconnection from your friend. And when you question that thought and sort of play with who you would be without it, it brings the connection back again, like the heart connects again. And then on the other dimension, just the opposite. So when I see someone being environmentally wasteful, and for me, that's something that I want to take a stand against or want to be active against, then there's a urge to say something and do something to stay within my integrity with how I see the world, to do what feels right for me to do. And so when you question the thought, she's environmentally wasteful, it feels like you're forgetting your responsibility to yourself to be an upstanding citizen of the world, if you will. So this thought carries weight in two different worlds. It carries weight in the friendship connection world, and it carries weight in the like staying within your integrity world when dealing with people. So that makes it tricky, right? That makes it harder when you're trying to find balance. And for me, the work is only about that. It's about trying to find balance. And some balances are one-dimensional balances, and some are like multi-dimensional balances. Like you think of a mobile that hangs down from the ceiling, with all those different balancing things. Like there's a lot of different dimensions where balance is happening at the same time. And it can be that subtle or even complex when sitting with this. So how would you, is there any way, when you think about it this way, that you could find a balance with your integrity and your environmental interests, and at the same time find a balance with your desire to have connection with your friend? Is there any way that could balance out for you?
I guess one thing that comes to me is sometimes I don't want to talk about my choices. Like I deliberately underplay my environmentalism because I'm afraid that she's going to feel guilty or judge me for it. And I think maybe sometimes maybe there's also a belief if I enjoy what she does, it's going to model environmental wastefulness as well, or something like that. Like, so to me, it's this maybe how do I show up as authentically someone who really cares about the environment without making her feel bad. So I kind of do, it's all twisted, I guess, this sort of secret judging, but not wanting to judge. And then if I show off, it shows how clearly I am judging, you know. Um, so I guess there's probably still areas where I'm needing her approval or judging her, or wanting to set a good example or things like that are kind of interfering with the connection.
Yeah. Interfering with doing this double balancing where you're balancing with the connection and also balancing with your integrity and your desire to be environmental. So yeah, I think you found some really good thoughts in there. Like she's going to feel guilty if I talk about the environment, or she's going to judge me for it if I talk about the environment, or if I enjoy it, it's going to model environmental wastefulness. So those three thoughts could be great to question, because they're like extra weights that got thrown on the balance scale, and so now the whole thing is just hanging in a really weird position. It's not able to balance naturally. I always believe that there's a way to balance anything. If you may have to go to a really deep level where everything meets at some point, but there's always a way. I believe I just have to look for it. Where there must be a way where I could be in my integrity and remain connected. There must be a way that I could be environmentally active and kind and understanding to someone who isn't. there must be a way, right? But thoughts get in the way and they cloud it. So if you like, we could do a little bit of work on one of those thoughts if you'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me read them off and you can tell me which one feels closer for you. She's going to feel guilty if I talk about the environment to her. She's going to judge me for it. Or if I just enjoy the connection, it's going to model environmental wastefulness.
Yeah, let's do that last one.
Okay, so you're driving in the car with your friend, and if you just let your guard down and forget about your environmental interests for a little bit, it's going to model environmental wastefulness. Is that true?
Yes.
And can you absolutely know it's true? It's going to model environmental wastefulness if you enjoy it.
No.
So how do you react? What happens when you believe this or think this, that it's going to model environmental wastefulness if you enjoy this and don't think about your environmental ideas for a bit?
It's a stiffness, like I can't look, like I can't. It's so crazy because it's like I can't show that I'm enjoying myself and I can't show that I'm not. So I have to put on a fake enjoyment instead of a real one.
Totally. You can't move and you can't not move. Yeah. Okay, keep going. How else do you react? It's going to model environmental wastefulness.
Yeah, I mean, we're in her car, we're going to all these wineries, and it's just beautiful outside, and I'm just like, oh, so wasteful. Like I just have to kind of like, I can't enjoy it. I can't enjoy all of it because then it's okay. Then I'm so what I'm believing it. I can't enjoy it, but I don't know what to do. So then I just sort of settle for some self blame, I guess. That like, look at you doing this, and it's really that stiffness, that setting apart of me from the experience as well. And there's some future of past. I just see, anything she's ever thrown out, or I hear her comments. She knows I'm environmentally minded and she'll make comments. And I see this past of, oh my gosh, she's done all this terrible stuff. And then I see this future of just how bad everything is and how bad everything's going to be. And here I am just like sipping wine, at the top of the mountain or whatever. So I see that future and I feel bad about that future. And it just feels like it feels wrong, but with no right path. I can't see what would be the right thing to do, because the only right thing to do seems to be to just be like finger wagging or not go. I mean, and I said yes to this trip. I wanted to spend the day with her, and so it just feels like there's no right path, and so at least I can just not enjoy this one.
Right. That'll make up for it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so you describe it so clearly how you react when you believe this thought. It's going to model environmental wastefulness. So who would you be without that thought, that if you enjoy your time with your friend, that it's going to model environmental wastefulness? Who would you be?
Well, the first thing I feel like I'm I'm real and I'm with her. Like, it's like, do I think I'm like God? Like with the thought, it's like so important what I think and model. Like that's what matters to the world and to her. And without the thought, it's like I'm just living, like I'm just free, and this is one time, and this is not it's kind of like it doesn't become my job anymore to educate her every moment of the day. It doesn't become my job, and it's not that arrogance is sort of gone, of that being my job, and that being that I would even know what my job should be. So that with that arrogance gone, it feels much more playful and fun to be with her. And I just don't take myself so seriously, and I give her more respect for her making her own decisions. And she's seen plenty of things that I've said and done over my life. It's not going to change so much, this fact that I enjoy myself when I'm with her. So it feels playful, and I feel just more respect for her and how she makes decisions and her choices.
And how do you see your own environmental interests and awareness? Like, how do you see that as well? If you're not thinking that if you enjoy this, you're going to model environmental wastefulness.
I mean, I see in this case, we're like going to local restaurants and drinking local winery. And like, I see in this particular case, it's not really that, it's not so out of balance with um, my values. And so I sort of feel like I can just keep my eyes open to what's around me. Maybe I'll see something that I want to do that feels good, you know. Um, but right now, I see from what we're actually doing right now, it's like there's a lot of things that I really value and that I think are good, you know, about where we are and what we're doing. That
Yeah,
it is in line with my values for the world.
yeah, cool. So, how would you turn the thought around? If you enjoy it, it's going to model environmental wastefulness.
Um, well, if I don't enjoy it, it's going to model environmental wastefulness in a way, is like at least enjoy it. Like at least like, that it's wasteful to just have something and not appreciate it, not enjoy it, just don't have
Right.
it. So if I don't enjoy it, it's going to model environmental wastefulness. It's not getting the most out of life and experience. And what's this whole trip for nothing if I don't enjoy it?
Right. Right. It's like your friend is a part of the environment. She is a part of your environment, and it's a waste.
Yes.
It'd be wasteful to not enjoy it. Yeah.
Yes. And it also models environmental wastefulness. If I don't enjoy it, it's like if if you're somewhere so beautiful and you're not appreciating the beauty of it, it's like, oh, we don't care about that. Like I don't care about the environment. I don't care about the way the vineyards look or the sunset. It's like I'm modeling a disconnection from beauty and from trees and from. So if I don't enjoy it, I'm modeling that, rather than like appreciation for the environment, for her, for the community, for the surroundings. So
Hmm.
no, I'm not modeling wonder and love and excitement.
Right, which is all contagious. That's the kind of thing that people get excited about,
Mm.
and And yeah, so it's like, no, what are you actually modeling there? Like, I can't enjoy anything. I'm just going to stay in my little straitjacket. It's not the same as modeling. Like, if you don't enjoy it, you're going to model environmental wastefulness.
Right.
It's an accurate turnaround. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there another turnaround? If I enjoy it, it's going to model environmental wastefulness.
Any chance you want to help me out with the turnaround?
I don't know if there is one, but let's take a look. If I enjoy it, it's not going to model environmental wastefulness. How's that possible?
Yeah, I just see the difference between like enjoying the meal she cooks for me or us going out versus her saying, "Let's go cut down trees." Like
Yeah.
we're not, if I enjoy it, I'm not going to model environmental wastefulness. Is like I just keep my eyes open, and if we do something that really feels bad, after this we're going to go burn tires, like then I can say no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So it's like I just keep my eyes open, and so far we're never doing something that's if I sit she gets a new couch and I sit in her new couch and I enjoy it. She's not asking me to buy the couch or whatever. So it's not modeling environmental wastefulness because we're not talking about the decision point for those things. We're not doing that together.
Right.
All we're doing together is the experience, which in itself, with my eyes open, I see is not, that's not environmentally wasteful. Like I don't have to betray my things. So it's just like, it doesn't model that because that's not what we're doing. We're eating, we're drinking, we're talking, we're together. We're not choosing. She's not asking me to do something that I don't agree with.
Yeah. It's almost a case of my business, her business. Like where does your business begin and end, and and the difference between the decision-making point, like at that kind of a conversation, versus an enjoyment point where that decision making has already been made. Like, where do you see the line between your business and her business in all of this?
It's really like, it's almost the point at which I say yes to do an experience with her. Is like, let me be clear, does this feel, am I in support of Kelly's life that I'm about to jump into? Like, as in, it's like, do I want to go for dinner? And if we have some kind of food that's whatever, I'm willing to eat it. If I'm not, don't do it. So it's like kind of being authentic that, okay, I guess I am a person who is okay with eating that because I chose to say yes, knowing that might happen. So not putting it on her, I don't know if that makes sense, but I kind of feel like the line is, to me, the authenticity is open my eyes, know what's happening, see it. And if I need to question in advance, but once I committed to it, I've chosen it. So I'm not modeling. It's kind of like, that's where, am I going to be her friend? It's kind of like, really, if I'm really serious about this, that's what it would mean. And is that what I mean? Is that really what is the right thing for me? And if it's not the right thing for me, then it's kind of, then the judgment doesn't have a place because I've already chosen that this is what I am going to do this. I do want to be part of this.
Yeah. Yeah. It reminds me of being with family or being with people that have different viewpoints or different experiences, and it's just, I do my thing. It may be different than what they do, and we can discuss from time to time, but there isn't a lot of enthusiasm, or it doesn't look like it's going to be, or they're not going to jump over and become on my side kind of thing. And so I can just be in my business, this is sort of where I stand, and I can still be with other people that are have different values, and it's not a thing for me. I do my thing, but it's not a thing. Yeah,
Right.
it's more like just this is downtime. This isn't I'm not being an activist in that moment. I'm relaxing with people that I care about. So yeah, it's very interesting to play with this. The um, it's like different dimensions where we started, right?
Yeah.
Different areas, and they come together in a situation like this. So having some awareness of them can can give options for being peaceful and still being in one's integrity, being connected and still being yourself. So anything more on this for you in terms of your this turnaround or any takeaways that you're finding?
Yeah, I like that word sort of vacation, as in it's not my job to police the world. And if I think it is, I can question that. And again, if there's something that's uneasy with me, let me question it before I start, if I can. Also,
Yeah,
and then that lets me feel authentic as to my choice and what I'm doing,
right,
so I don't have to bring it in the middle of the middle of the experience.
right, right. Like there might be some extreme points where it's like, this is too much. Sorry, I can't do that.
Right.
But there's a lot of middle ground where it's like I can tolerate or I can be okay with and just not mind, because it's not really my business anyway. I'm not controlling the other person, but I'm still aware of where my values are. But I'm kind of they're on a little bit of reprieve or vacation for a little while I'm just focusing more on the connection. And then in other situations, I may be more vocal about my beliefs when I'm in a situation where others are interested or I'm able to make some contribution in that way. And not to say that can't happen with a friend too, but like there's an easiness in there as well. Like the priority is the friendship in that case, or it may be.
Yeah. I also just like to see, and I feel like I learn this more with the work more and more, is when there's ambiguity, like my mind is like, oh no, you're selling out. But I know if it wasn't ambiguous, I wouldn't. Like, just to see that example of the trees or the tires or whatever, it's like, no, but it would be clear when it's clear.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I'm in ambiguity, that just means there's something going on, and can check it out.
I think a big part of this process of doing the work is becoming friends with ambiguity, becoming friends with opposites coexisting together and not being fully resolved and somehow still being okay. Like that takes a certain kind of openness to be able to be with that, because the mind would like to just make it one or the other, like you're with me or against me, or I'm gonna, it's that's the yeah, that's the quote unquote easy way, but doesn't always work. But this is like a real sitting with opposites, and there is that little bit of discord floating in and out. There's a little bit of yeah, and so, but still being peaceful with a little bit of discord. Like that's interesting. Like coexistence of opposites, really. It requires an expansion of awareness. And I think that's why or where this work tends to point me, is to just how can I expand? Like I was saying, I think there's always a way for these opposites to somehow balance it out with each other. And I think that is dependent on how broad my awareness can be when I'm looking at it. And the broader it is, I can I can have everything in this world, good, bad, and ugly, sitting in my awareness and even be taking action in certain regards and still being at peace with what I can't control and the contradictions that come up in all of it. So yeah, this is really a very interesting piece of work. So thank you.
Thank you.